What's up, world? It's your girl Shay, and you are at Shay's Spunky World. I'm sorry, I just kind of coughed. Listen, I want to get right into it. Today's topic is a little interesting because I just had to post something about me, memories of me and my kid's father. We're back together now, so it's confusing a lot of people. A lot of people is looking at it like, why? Like, why y'all get back together? It's like we was rooting for you, girl. Listen, I'm not gonna talk about it too much, but honestly, the way I see it is like I was saying last time. I'm piggyback off of it a little bit. I see it as like God got me up here for a reason. Like it's a purpose. Like those who know me know that 2016 we made it official that we was just not. Well, I made it official that I wasn't gonna deal with him no more. Because there was some things that's going on that I'll later talk about in different segments or whatever. But yeah, I just was done, and I asked God to just remove him out of my life. Now, my podcast is not going to be about churchy or anything like that, because I'm not trying to force a religion on anybody. But if you believe in a higher power, you will definitely understand most of my segments and understand this one today. In particular, I basically nailed on my hands and feet, knees, and I was like begging, crying in tears, like, Lord, just take him away out of my life, because it was just not conducive. Like, we was at a time of our lives where things were just getting a little bit too rocky living in the same house. And all I did was like basically, I started going back to church and surrendering my life to God. And next thing you know, once I gave up, drinking pretty much, 2 days later, God answered my prayers. However, throughout that year, I did happen to find myself going back. But, God always give you a warning before destruction. And throughout my lifetime, he's been giving me all these different types of warnings when it was coming to me and Kaz. Every time I reconsider him, God would give me a warning, and I ignored the warning, and would get back together, and, things start happening. This time around, okay, things was leading up to where we are right now. So it clearly was showing when we was getting the warnings before that we was just not ready to be in a relationship. Nowadays it's like, okay, God, I see what you're doing, because I couldn't move anywhere else, and I was on a timer, and I just happened to move back to New York, and things just swing in this direction. Now, I have always said that I would never get back with my kid's father because of all the things that we both put each other through. But recent matters of what happened with he and I just couldn't see myself getting back with him. But now that we're here, we're basically like, I ain't gonna say inseparable, but like, this is kind of like a restart of a honeymoon phase, if that makes sense, right? Restart of a honeymoon phase. So with that being said, I'm gonna just get into it when we first met. Now, a lot of people is against the whole R. Kelly and the things that he was doing to, the women in his life, allegedly, still allegedly, because we really don't know the true story, but there is an age gap between him and the ladies. So I bring that up just to bring up the time where me and my kids' father started dating. Like, I was 16 and he was 20. Now, a lot of people look at it like, damn, he was 16, he was still a baby, and he was 20, he's a grown-ass man, he shouldn't be looking at you. Right. Now, I just so happened to look at a post that I did, and it got some feedback from it, right? See, the thing about it, having some feedback, this person was like saying, girl, back in the day, don't be bringing that up, because I don't want people to feel, like he was a pedophile or whatever the case may be back in the day, baby. And I'm not praising it. Okay, during that time, back in the day, 2000s, I wanted to say a lot of people was dating younger folks, like younger dudes, younger girls, and it was just a thing like it was okay, because listen, way back, there was younger, like you could marry when the girl was like puberty, right? If I'm not mistaken, when the girl had just received her period, you can marry the girl. I think she was like 12, 13, 10. They still do it to this day in other countries. Again, I am not praising it. Like, I wouldn't want my daughters to be dating no grown ass man. But back in the day, I was 16, he was 20. Now, going back further, I was a little, what you call it, promiscuous. Okay, those who don't know what that is, little thought hot pocket. Not the thought you see today, but like I was a little, you know what I'm saying? I was a little something back in the day. Especially when I had the little body, had the curves, big ass, bodacious booty. You know, my stomach was nice and, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really see myself like that, but you know, grown men see me like that, and I never really paid attention to it. I feel as though, listen, everybody has their opinions, and I'm quite sure I'm going to have opinions on here. I'm not going to blame too much of my father not being in my life or the proper guidance from my mom, you know, because she did care about me a lot, but I was uncontrollable at the time, and like I was ripping around the streets, not really going to school like that. So I pretty much did what the fuck I wanted to do. And when I was from 14, 15, dating older men, my oldest guy, I literally was just turning 16 and he was 28. Okay. He always used to date, you know, younger kids. But the mother didn't give a fuck long as he gave her crack. Shit, she didn't give a fuck. I'm just saying, this is my era from back in the day. I'm 35 going on 36. That's almost 20 years ago. So I'm just saying, I personally, like I said, wouldn't want my goddamn daughters dating no damn 28, 29, in the 20s. Shit, my daughter has just turned 16. My oldest is about to be 18. Well, she already moved out on her own. She's, you know, moved out freshly at 17 with her boyfriend. Now, a lot of people going to criticize me about that too. You have to be there to understand. But that's a later topic as well. With me and my kid's father, we have this chemistry system. Like, we have like a real live chemistry. Like, as I explained before, it's just undeniable. Like, it's really love. But we also have that hatred. Both of us don't like to be wrong. I mean, I'm working on that now. Like, where if I'm proven wrong, hey, I know I'm wrong, you know, you get to tell me. But don't keep bashing it and putting it in my face. That's just too much. Him on the other hand, no, he don't like to be wrong at all. Okay, so that's something we're working on. But like I said, we have that love and that hatred kind of relationship. But nowadays we're looking like, hey, he about to be fucking 40 in July. I'm about to be 36. I already said it a long time ago. Like, I want to be married, you know, by 40 years old. And we just kind of, being that I moved up here, it's just come to the point, like, you know what, it's looking like it's about that time. Not to say we're going to get married today, even though we posted on our pages that we're married. No, we got a lot of shit going on, okay? A lot of challenges, a lot of whispers, a lot of things we have to face together. No one's backing out under any of that sort. We're both doing this shit together, okay? So with that being said, I definitely have some things that I need to complete and fulfill, and he does too. And we're going to work on a project together. Finally, we're going to be working together to build a business that we going to finalize, because we always used to do that shit, and it never even touched the surface. But yeah, back to the age difference. Like I said, I was 16, he was 20. Before him, I was 15, turning 16, and I was dating a 28-year-old. If I'm not mistaken, R. Kelly was 28 and 15 in the 90s. Aaliyah was like 15 in the 90s, and they got married with the consent of her parents. Yeah. Back then, it was so much different versus now. It's a lot of views on it now. There's so many community guidelines, you want to say. because of social media. Now that social media is here, it's in the public eye, and you got a lot of naysayers are saying like, "Oh, I'm against this, I'm against that." So when you have people doing that, they building a community, and now the community is out voting the people who's really for the shit. Again, I'm not for the shit. I'm not my daughter. Listen, excuse me. I'm not my daughter's out. They try to come up in my motherfucking house with a motherfucking grown. See, it's a difference. My mother was too nice. Okay, again, I'm gonna bring up a story about her too. God rest her soul. I love my mother, and she used to always just give me whatever I wanted. She was like just a yes woman, you know what I mean? Like she just okay, whatever makes you happy, that kind of thing. Because I'm her only child, and she couldn't have no more. And she didn't really have a male figure in a home because one of my stepfather who was raising me, who was the only one I really honored, was on drugs. And once he died, I kind of became a little rebellious. And then when I finally met my father, who was really close, literally around the corner, that's another segment. Ooh, baby, but that's a hurtful, touchy story. So I'm gonna be gentle with that one. But when I finally met him or whatever, it was kind of like a mismatch kind of guidance kind of thing, because I moved in his house. Things was, parental guidance then. But once I left, it was right back to me being rebellious, not going to school, not doing, you know what I mean? So I was doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do. Okay, so age difference matters today. The same thing I would do what I did back in the day, I wouldn't do that shit today. I mean, I wouldn't allow my kids to do that shit today. Even down to my son. Dad, no, you ain't dating no older woman. I don't give a fuck how much money she bringing to the table. You supposed to be bringing your own money to the table. That ain't no damn you a sugar baby and all of that stuff. No, you're not doing that. You're gonna lose your virginity at an appropriate time, appropriate age. You're gonna get a job. You're gonna be a man. You're gonna learn how to take out the trash. Show some chivalry and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna be treated the way I wanted people to treat me, pretty much, in a good, memorable way, like with respect. Okay, with respect, with a K. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna grow up, and you're gonna go to school. You're gonna finish. You're gonna finish everything. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have that. Cause why? Both your parents is here. Okay, and I, for one, definitely gonna be digging in your ass. My daughters, they're gonna do the same thing, but there's gonna be a little bit different treatment. However, you know what I mean? There's no older person coming up in here. Maybe a year or two by age, but nothing further than that. You not about to do that. The fuck? So I brought up the topic because I seen that it kind of brought some attention when I mentioned that I was 16 and their father was 20. That is, in my eyes today, yes, that is even though 4 years apart is legal, that is concerning because I'm a teenager, still out of high school. You're 20, 18 years old, you should be then graduated high school, should be in college. What are you doing looking at a teenager? But that wasn't the case. We both was out of school. Okay? He didn't finish school and I was dropping out. I was out there drinking, smoking, hell, watching him hustle, holding his drugs. Like, he never asked me. I'm gonna put it out there because I don't want him to look like some kind of way. I used to just want to do it because the adrenaline, like, it used to feel good just to be out there hugging the block with my nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Just sitting there watching the police and shit. Looking dumb, of course. So don't get me wrong. Like, don't think like what I'm bragging about right now, like I'm cool with that shit. Nah, my nigga, he got work, motherfucker. Like, and I'm glad he got some interviews coming up. But anyway, that's a whole other topic. Anyway, like back in the day, it used to just feel good. And let me add to the story with me. Back then, I used to have a home, but these people that I used to hang out with, they didn't have a home. They used to sleep in honeycombs and stuff like that. And I never really wanted to go home because I just wanted to be underneath my roof a lot. So I used to sleep in the honeycombs too, just to get a feel of what it feels like. So now I do know what that shit feels like. You know, I had a pinch of everything. Touching a gun, touching on drugs, drinking, drugging, alcohol poisoning, you know what I mean, getting into fights, like thinking I was in a gang, like all kinds of things. So at that age, 14 to 16 and a half, I was really, really out there rebellious. 17, when I had my first daughter, I was kind of like being just a tad bit responsible. Now, still not going to school, still not working, but I was like, nah, I can't be out here with y'all. Practically everybody got locked up in that way, but I'm like, I can't be out here with y'all. I got a whole daughter in the house and stuff like that. I need to make sure she good and stuff. And whenever I do hang out, I used to be outside with a friend who had a car. That was that. That was my rebellious life or whatever. So when it comes to age difference, that shit did never mattered. Never mattered. Nowadays, it definitely matters. So I asked the question, how old is too old? Okay. Would you allow your 16-year-old, 15-year-old to date anything older than 2 years? Okay. Would you allow your child, as the age that I was, 16, to date a 20-year-old? Would you allow your child to date from 15 to date a 28-year-old? Honestly, I don't know if he still do that today. I pray to God he does not. Because he got a lot of kids. On some real shit. Like, he go to jail, honey. But, yeah, would you allow your child to date someone that is older than 2 years apart? I don't know. I mean, not to say I don't know. Hell no. I know. I personally know I will not. But when you have a child that is rebellious and there's nothing you can really do but keep calling the cops on them 1,000 times or trying to get their father in their life and chastise them, what else can you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what could you do? Your child is just out there. You can keep fighting, losing sleep, the whole 9 yards. But if your child want to lie and say, oh, I'm going to such and such house, but she really going to Johnny house who's fucking 29 years old, she only 17. You know what I mean? Like, it's stuff like that. Like, are you serious? Like, what could you do? Put a monitor on them? Yeah, strict parents will put a monitor. You got to go to A to B. You got to go to boot camp, military camp. You got to go to, what you call it? What is that? The thing with jail? Jail straight, get out of jail. What the hell? Y'all know what I'm talking about, when they put the kids in like a setting where there's prisoners and they scared straight. Damn. Okay, something like that. But does any of that work? Will the child still be rebellious? You can take it to church and get them baptized, put the Lord on them, oil, all that. Lord have mercy. Not that mock them, but just seriously, that's a big deal. Like, what do you do as a strict parent who has a child that is just rebellious? No matter what you do, they just rebellious. They're gonna date whoever the fuck you wanna date. They're gonna go out and do whatever the fuck they wanna be. Like I said, when I say losing sleep, that means you're like sitting in 24/7, making sure they go to school on time, all day, every day, beating the shit out of them. Not necessarily, because you got some parents that will, but putting it out there like, yo, you do this, I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? Like, sitting there watching them go to sleep all hours of the night just to make sure they not sneaking out the window, breaking their goddamn hip and leg. Like stuff like that. Like, baby, that is exhausting. I told my oldest, because we had a situation. Not that she dated somebody older than 2 years. He's actually a real responsible guy. After so many attempts of trying to get her father to, because the main reason why we would be in, to so her and her father could, build a connection. But after her father had, basically, it was like, yo, she grown. I can't. There's nothing I could do. After all of that and me chastising and all of that stuff, I'm working constantly trying to make sure the bills is paid. Still not being able to keep up because I'm paying on the car. And she's sneaking out and doing whatever she wanted to do. I just said, you know what, girlfriend? Because I can't monitor you the way I want to. Not like, again, she wasn't dating somebody older than 2 years. And he is responsible. He's not a thug. He's not somebody that I'd be like, you know what, I give up. Like, if you get what I'm saying. It's not that kind of situation. I met him, met his little family. He got a big ass family, but met his family or whatever. They pretty decent. But with her, it's just like, I'm going to just let you live. I'm going to let you explore life because you're not listening to me. You're not giving me the respect that I need. You're not seeing where I'm coming from. You just know it all, right? You just know everything. So I'm going to let you experience life, my dear, because you just seem to not understand the warning I'm giving you. But my door will always be open if you need me. It ain't going to be open the first or second time you need me, but I'm going to always be your mother, no matter what. So what I do, I let them move out at 17 years old. 17 years old is a decent age to move out if you are responsible. Now, she is working at a daycare job. I'm proud of her. However, school seems to be last for her. So she got time to do her GED, go to high school. She still has time for the necessities. Like, as long as she ain't trying to wait until she's freaking 30, she got enough time to get back on track. But right now she's working. They got their own place and they're doing their own thing, and I'm proud of her. I do speak to her every so often, so it's not like she's unreachable or whatever. I do check on my child. But I said that because of her rebellious ways. Now, put that in play with an age difference. Like, what do you do with a child like that? Would you allow your child to date someone who is 2 years and above? Like, sometimes when you have them, when they're dating, that comes with influences. If they're not, the person that they're dating is not in school, doing their own thing, working and doing, where it gives them some type of role model figure, like, something for them to look up to build them up, then you got a problem with your hands, especially if you got a child that just follows off of love. Remember, there's lust in high school, blushes and crushes and all kinds of stuff. Would you allow your child to date somebody that is 2 years and above? Me, I already answered it already. Can't fucking know. Kiss my around eyes. Like, that ain't happening. But if they become a little super rebellious, I still say no, because on the strip that their father doesn't allow them. Their father's, what the fuck? You almost my age. Like, I could be your big brother. I could probably be your father. You know what I'm saying? You ain't about to date my damn daughter. Like, yeah. So no. Just because of that, if it's a male, yeah, they definitely on their necks on that shit. I don't know. Please follow me on Instagram at ShayWorld618 or Shay_World618 or Shay.World618. You can also find me on Shay Crypto Williams on Facebook, and my other page is Janet JANET Williams as well. I would love to get your feedback. I'm about to close this out with just another saying, and I really appreciate it if you just share, like, comment, or whatever you feel you want to do. I can take negative feedback, just don't be too nasty, because I'll block you. There's no problem with that. And I want you guys to just keep, just think about it. Let me know in a comment or something. DM me so I can read it out loud, and just let me know, like, what would you do? Would you date somebody? Would you allow your child to date somebody that's 2 years and above? Or have you ever dated somebody that's 2 years and above? I don't know. All I know is ending this right now with life be lifing. Life be lifing. But if it's too much of a challenge, and I'm talking about children as well, if it's too much of a challenge, let it go. Give it to God. Let him handle it. Let him take control. Pray over it. Because I asked him in prayer to cover my daughter while she's out there. And I'm quite sure my mother asked God and begged God to cover me while I was out there as well. And look at me now. I'm bright as a bread. But still, cover yourself. Ask God to cover you. Ask God to cover your children, your finances, your mental health, your freedom, everything. Just ask God to just cover you. If it seems like it's just way too much, let go, give it to God, and He will show you the way. Y'all be blessed.